Is the microphone working? It appears so. Camera is also working. Hello, can you see me? Hello guys, this is Janis, back to you with another video. Today I have a thing I want to talk about. First of all, let's address why I have been away for so long. I have been busy. I have been doing stuff, and I have been busy for for almost 3 weeks now since my last upload, or I think it was 2 weeks. I don't remember. Anyways, so yeah, I've been busy, but the training, of course, has been still commencing. I have been attending. I am cutting currently. Not like literally cutting. I am not emo. More, I mean, I've been cutting my weight. I've lost 3 kilograms in 1 month and some weeks. 1 month and
Before I got the password, I erased him.
1 or 2 weeks or something. Considerable weight loss. I mean, I can't really say what is the main driver of this weight loss. I've been doing lots of things, and first of all, training itself. Second of all, I've been eating, let's not say less, more like with moderation. I've been counting my calories like a good boy. And oh yeah, this is, I guess, a very big one. I took out creatine because I had creatine diarrhea, diarrhea monohydrate, you might say. Has not been fun at all. Diarrhea for about 2 or 3 times a day for the past few months since I've been using it. Currently, while I'm off it, I still have some diarrhea sometimes, but it's almost exclusively when I drink coffee. So those are my go-to things I would go to get not constipated. Yes. Okay, what I wanted to say about that was, since I've been not using creatine anymore, it means that I am losing, well, not losing, I guess my muscles don't absorb as much water, so maybe the weight that I've lost, the most of it, I mean, maybe is mostly consists of water. So that is my theory. So I think I've not been using creatine for about a month, I think. So I guess in like a month or something, I haven't really read up on this too much. Hold on, I can actually 2 to 4 weeks. Okay, my assumption has been correct. So I guess this is also means that I've been losing water as well, water weight. I've been also feeling it in my training, not gonna lie. I do feel like my training capacity has gone down like 10%-ish. I can even see it with the numbers and with the strength that I have, and also endurance. So, but still, I just want to try training without it for at least a month, and or maybe two, and see what happens. It if I really don't get any more diarrhea, then and if it's because of the creatine, then I might go back to creatine in the future, but maybe take a different form, because currently I've been using creatine monohydrate, and I've heard there's another type, I think. So yeah. What I wanted to talk about today was I even got my notes on my phone. I've been a very good boy, so as not to waste anyone's time anymore, and also my editor's time. The theme of today is the human burning match. or maybe the human matchstick, or maybe the human Tinder stick. I don't know how do you really call it. In Latvian, we say sārkociņš. Some people also use the term to say when somebody is very thin, and I'm not referring to that. I am more referring to, okay, let me just explain. So, have you ever experienced that when you do something and you really enjoy it, and then you suddenly see that other people also want to start doing it? You know, it's like it's a contagion, some might say. It's very, you can very clearly see when, you know, people take drugs or something. If, you know, if your friend smokes weed or drinks alcohol, it's probably you're also gonna do it, right? I'm not talking about those stuff. I'm more talking about the good stuff, you know, when you do something, when you're genuinely into like a hobby, or maybe I don't know how do you even call it, like you just do something that is good for you, right? And when you do it, uh, people just sort of seem to naturally want to also pick up that hobby that you have, right? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's been happening for me, um, in my life, in multiple occasions even. And you know, a one-off, if it happened like one time in my life, I wouldn't really say this about myself, right? But this has happened like many times and with many different things. So let me show you some examples regarding in my own life. So, okay, one thing. When I was like smaller in age, I was about, I think this has been my trait for like most of my life. I'm referring to exotic animals and animals in you know, all of them. I've been very um, and enthusiastic about them. Some might say I've enjoyed keeping them. I've enjoyed breeding them. I've enjoyed selling them, and everything between. So when I was smaller, I used to take. I first of all, a little backstory. I had many different exotic animals. Let's just say it was around 12ish years old. I had like Spanish newts, axolotls, leopard geckos, tokay geckos, many fish, shrimp crabs, the crayfish, gecko, lots of geckos, different types also, you know, that a bearded dragon also, one tiny bit amount. And I also used to breed my leopard geckos. So I also used to take them to school. Mostly nobody, I mean, regarding, I'm talking about the teachers. Mostly the teachers didn't mind, but they were more concerned for the animals' health, because lots of people, when I brought them to school, wanted to touch them and give them all the attention. And of course, the animals were a bit stressed out, but I only took the ones I really knew that didn't mind the company of humans. Of course, I am saying this to justify myself. Of course, now looking back at it, it was not a wise decision on regarding the animals' health and safety. But I was little. I'm sorry. I know now better. I also did other things with frogs. I will not tell exactly what now, but the people that know me know what I'm talking about. But that was when I was very little. Please, I'm still waiting for my sponsorship. So yes, and people wanted not only to touch my animals, but they also wanted the animals. So I had like, I definitely know that one classmate got a leopard gecko too, and two more girls also got them. I had Riz back then. Now I have no. Yeah, the next example. After I was done with exotic animals, I wanted a new hobby. I started enjoying airsoft very much because, well, not let's just not talk about why exactly, all right? But I was very into airsoft. I just had dinner or lunch. Dinner, yes. I was very into airsoft, and I know for a fact that, again, one other classmate definitely got an airsoft rifle, and I think one or two other classmates also did. I'm not very, my memory is not that well with these things, but many of my friends from my closer friend group also got some airsoft rifles. How do I know it was related to me? Is because they didn't know it back then that these things existed. You know, I went to school with a M16. The teachers didn't appreciate it when I took it out of the backpack in the middle of class. But back then it was very different. There was no such thing as school shootings, I think. Well, not at least in Latvia. So teachers weren't too, you know, scared, but they were a little concerned. They told me later that it was way better when I just took animals. It was still not great, but it was not this bad. Okay, so that's the other example. Another example, I used to do boxing. And again, one of my classmates also went to boxing with me after I started. So that's again how I know it was directly related to me. And now, most recently, I'm experiencing this with weightlifting. Some of my buddies have also joined me, not like just started lifting, they actually like come here and lift with me. So for the regulars right now I have two buddies that come in this small ass room work out with me. I've had at least two more workouters here with me, or maybe three more workouters, uh, and to my knowledge some of them still do it, or one maybe, I don't know, but not with me. It's just, yeah, so this is, I started wondering, maybe it's just my thing, you know. So I today started dissecting it. How does this natural form of attracting people to certain things work? And I'm more talking about like hobbies and other stuff, not particularly referring to drugs and alcohol. No, 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 that's, we keep away from that. But two more productive things. So yeah, I had a little list here I wrote down while talking to my mom today. The things that you one should maybe have, or rather, the things I've noticed about myself that might be the reason why people are later on like pick up the same hobbies as I do. I guess the biggest reason is to have a massive enthusiasm about something. And maybe all of these things that I am going to talk later, what I have in the list, maybe those all of those things are really like encompassed by the enthusiasm term itself. I don't know, but yeah, that's one thing I definitely know about myself is that I have massive enthusiasm about something. Without it like enthusiasm is sticky or it radiates. I don't know how it works, but people also get it and then they also want to do stuff. So That's one thing. Another thing is, what I've noticed is usually that is a new thing. It's something that other people haven't really seen or experienced firsthand. And when somebody out there, right next to them is actually doing it or has it, then they are interested and they, oh, it's something new, I want to try it. I thought about this and I thought that, okay, this could be true for exotic animals and airsoft and maybe boxing, because when I was like littler, these things weren't a big such widely known as now. It was like 12 or 13 years ago. These things in my peer group weren't that known. For example, leopard geckos, nobody really knew about them. Airsoft also, rarely, if ever, anybody knew about that. Boxing people had heard, but I guess none had really tried it. I don't know. But with weightlifting, I had to think to myself, because I definitely know that people not only know about weightlifting in my peer group, but actually had done it before. So why now are they doing it, you know, once I've been started doing it? I thought that maybe it's because of my approach to it. And I'm gonna tell about the approach a bit later. So next thing is to have passion about something. I guess this is also encompassed by enthusiasm, but without passion, you wouldn't really, people like it would be very hard to convey to somebody that the thing that you do is awesome. And yeah, next thing is fulfillment. I For example, when I'm doing weightlifting, I have massive fulfillment about myself. Not always massive, but after every training, I definitely do feel fulfilled about myself. That um, in Latvian, we call this word gandarījums. I guess I'm a quickly Google it. Satisfaction. Okay. I have massive satisfaction and fulfillment from what I do. It's, when you reach a certain goal, for example, that sort of keeps you going. And yeah, so again, if I have satisfaction and fulfillment from what I do, it's again easier to convey those feelings and thus bring somebody towards your hobby. Next is chasing a goal. Again, I'm going to translate this because in Latvian we call it mērķtiecība. Ambition, determination, purpose. These are the words I guess get. So I guess determination. I like the Latvian version better, not gonna lie. Yeah, so I am determined. If I have a goal, for example, again with weightlifting, it's way easier to convey this. If I have a certain goal and I am determined enough to get it, then I'm gonna get it. And that's maybe regarding the approach. This might be the approach I take that is that seems to others is something that they also could get behind, and thus maybe if they haven't previously heard about this approach, then maybe it's a new thing to them. You get me? Next up is guy with a plan. All right. Let's say that, okay, the person is interested in this thing that you do, but they would like somebody to hold their hand and guide them through it. Who are they gonna choose? If in their immediate peer group the person that could guide them through is you yourself, then that's already like the thing that most people like need. Get into your hobby, I guess. the So if you have a plan, and if you seem like a guy with a plan, and you have knowledge about that stuff, and preferably of course experience, I mean, without experience you wouldn't be able to convey anything, I think. So experience also, I think, is essential. But yeah, if you are a guy with a plan, have all these things, then you yeah, you are more, you give the person another reason to get into your hobby. And after they are, okay, let's start, I want to also get in this hobby, Janice, what do we do? Next thing is to be helpful and be open. Well, first of all, you have to be open. If if you're not going to be open to letting somebody in your hobby, then all of this is for nothing, But if you want that person to also enjoy your hobby or be beside you, then openness, of course, is essential. Next up is helpfulness. If you are helpful to the person, I mean, helpful, not only you praise them, but also when appropriate. Exclamation marks, Richard. When appropriate, you give them like correction, or correct them, or acknowledge them in a way that critiques, but only when appropriate. I'm telling, for example, with weightlifting, or with exotic animals, for example. When somebody shows me their, okay, they've gotten a leopard gecko, they got their enclosure, and then they ask me, Yanis, can you please rate my setup? I go to them and say, oh, this is great, your gecko looking healthy, you have the heating pad, great. That's praise. But when I see that there are, for example, no holes in the lid for the air to circulate, I will critique. I will say them, hold on, everything is great, except please fix this because your animal needs air. So when appropriate. And it's like a friend, a friendly shoulder, to so to speak. And well, truthfulness is the next thing I have written down, but I guess this also includes the critique part. You are not uh, always praising, and also the truthfulness could be assigned to you yourself, because you could you know you could okay, you maybe are into this hobby, but who says that you know everything about it? You could know maybe most of the stuff, but you should admit when you don't know something, so that you don't deceive the person. And when you deceive the person, then the person is going to feel betrayed. And when the person feels betrayed, then they might leave. You don't want that. If you want the person to keep enjoying the hobby with you, and you want to help, and you want to go together, so it's always important to also stay truthful. If you don't know something, just say, I'm sorry, I don't know, I think we should look it up. Or it's again another activity you could do together. You could look up the thing that is concerning you together, right? And another thing I've written down, and a little star to it, meaning it's optional, is resourcefulness. If you have resources yourself that help facilitate the the hobby or whatever you're doing with your body or other people, um, the people are more likely again to stick to you. For example, with me and weightlifting right now, I have the resources. Oh, well, no, I guess it's a drying rack, sure. But I have the resources, and the people want also, to come because I have it here. Why not use it? Let's do it together. And it's not also only with physical things. It's also resourcefulness with being smart about things. When um, for example, you don't have again, I'm gonna use weightlifting as an analogy here. When you don't have, like, for example, I don't know, a pull-up, the person cannot do a pull-up, right? You could say, oh, well, don't do this exercise, and be like that. But you could be resourceful and tell, okay, I have another technique you could try that could gradually, help you actually achieve your first pull-up at least. And what I'm saying is being also resourceful in the mental things with information, being able to figure stuff out, not just with physical things. And why I'm mentioning it in with this topic is because when you are resourceful in your certain field, you appear to be more, I guess, well, I don't want to say authoritative about something, but the person trusts you more. And if the person trusts you more, then again, they are more likely to trust you, thus maybe try the thing with you, and maybe if they like it, then they continue doing it. So yeah, this video is already 30 minutes. I guess I'm gonna end it here. But that's the topic I wanted to talk about today. And why I wanted to talk about it was because I've noticed that I have myself this trait of being a human matchstick, of igniting fires in not in other buildings, no, in others, igniting others. And I think this is a very cool thing to have. And if you also have this thing, then know that people like you are not too common, first of all, and second of all, appreciate yourself, because most of the time you are going to be a pioneer in certain things, and you are going to be alone, and it's gonna be difficult sometimes because you don't have anybody to look up to. For the others that follow you, it's probably gonna be easier because they already have somebody, but you won't, and that's okay. If it's things that you don't really need to be like super knowledgeable about to get into, great, do them. But if you need to be a doctor or something, then of course having a superior body to you that has already done those things might be very helpful. But if it doesn't require that, it's gonna be okay. You're going to do it. You're gonna be okay. And sooner or later, you yourself are going to feel very comfortable doing that thing. And sooner or later, perhaps, other people from your life are going to notice it. And maybe, just maybe, if the stars are aligned perfectly, are going to also join you, and you will have a buddy in your hobby or in training or whatever you're doing. But know that you are not alone, multiple people are experiencing this. It's normal to be not always having an existing peer group for your thing that you do. So that's it from me. See ya. Bye.
Max, what do you want for dinner?
Justice.